Actually, it sounds pretty remarkable, and it would be a tremendous advance if it actually does yield promising results. I've had the chance to speak to a number of my surgical colleagues, both at my home institution at Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York, as well as surgical colleagues at the Cleveland Clinic, where this work was originated actually originally many, many years ago. And so I've gotten sort of a full-rounded viewpoint on this. It's actually an American innovation. The heart in a box is made by a company based in Boston called TransMedics, and they've been testing it at various clinical centers in the United States and in Europe in a phase 3 clinical trial. It is not commercially available in the US yet prior to getting FDA clearance, but it is commercially available in Europe and Australia. And it appears, I'm not certain, but it does appear that the Australian team has used that very same device.
It does, and it looks like in more than one patient as well. It's being described down there as a paradigm shift when it comes to organ donation. Explain what that means in terms of the pool of available hearts.
So, Michael, there's a very large disparity right now in terms of the pool of available hearts and the numbers of people needing transplantation. I'll give you an example. In the United States alone, there are 500,000 people at any given time with heart failure, and there are only about roughly 2,200 living donors or beating heart donors available per year. So there's a huge disparity in terms of hearts that we can use, and therefore many people, there are many, many unfortunate patients that are not able to receive a heart transplant. Now, all the surgeons that I spoke to said that a beating heart donor always yields the best results. And there's further testing needed to see if this heart in a box can actually preserve a heart that's already been dead or under circulatory arrest for more than half an hour and yield favorable outcomes. The Australian team has only shown us 3 patients thus far that have had the transplant for less than 30 days, and therefore we don't have long-term outcomes on this. As I said, the company TransMedics is conducting a large-scale phase 3 clinical trial, and we'll have results of that in a few short months.
So potentially very exciting, and certainly exciting to see this happen with actual patients who are obviously in desperate need. For the uninitiated among us, how does it work? What makes it different? Obviously the heart is not beating, but what has changed here?
So it's basically providing an environment, this box, which they're placing the dead heart and resuscitating the heart. It's providing physiologic monitoring, it's providing warming, it's providing oxygenation and pulsatile flow in order to get the dead heart beating again, to basically resuscitate it and have it function. And the team in Australia reported that they kept these hearts after resuscitating them in this heart in a box for 4 hours and monitored the performance of the heart. So if you can monitor the performance of such a heart over 4 hours, then you can tell whether it's going to function well once they transplant it into a human being. So that's where the advance lies.
You work in a remarkable field. I mean, when you think about how far heart transplantation has come, I mean, those of us of a certain age remember the first one very clearly. It doesn't seem all that long ago. Remarkable strides in the field.
Yes, indeed, these are remarkable strides. But as I said, a lot of testing still remains, and we're not clear in terms of the mode of heart death that these patients in Australia experienced, and therefore it's a little bit difficult to sort of get too excited too early, but definitely work in a promising direction.